Here we go.
All right.
Started.
I am going to share my screen now. All right.
Hey.
So this is the system, and I am in just one of our clients because I know obviously we've been doing some stuff for him. So I know that everything's in here, unlike the video I shared with Tom where there's not a lot happening. I was just kind of going around to different areas, but it was on a dummy account. This one is an actual real client who we've done stuff in the system with. So this is when you first log in, this is the first thing that you would see is your dashboard. All of this is customizable and you can have multiple dashboards. You can, my dashboard, you can have the default one, create a new one, whatever you want to do. So you can have like different, each person on your team can have a different dashboard, but everything is drag and drop. So you just move it around. You can add more widgets. So if you wanted to see your social, your Google Analytics, you just pretty much drag it, name it, and there it is.
I have a quick question. Cameron, when would someone need to have more than one dashboard?
Like you could have like for each department, they could have their own dashboard.
Oh,
because
okay.
not everybody cares about everything on a main dashboard. So they may want to create like a department specific, you know, the pipeline versus the email campaigns. You know, you would have a sales and a marketing dashboard. Let's delete this.
So Cameron, for those that might not know, can you quickly explain what a widget is?
Yeah, widget is one of like these little blocks here. It's a block of data. And you can have it in multiple ways depending on what type of widget it is. Like this contact is obviously going to be lists because all it's doing is pretty much listing new contacts that have come into the system. Then you've got your, like this one here is a funnel. So it's going to show a little bit more clearer graphic for you to easily just be able to glance over and take a look. So that's a widget, is just a block of data. And this allows like a lot. This is probably the most I've ever seen from any system of what types of widgets they have. So it's really cool to just play around with what they, you know, what they have. And it's great insight into what's happening on your website, on your forms, your landing pages, whatever, to just be able to have a quick glance here on the dashboard.
And all these widgets are already built into the system, and you just select which one you want to see.
Yep.
Excellent.
All right, so we will start with the email, and I've maxed out my clients' email send list. Oh, Ron needed to be admitted. I just admitted him, so just FYI. So that's why you see this bright red or pink thing here, because we sent out like a Christmas email, and he also had some other things going on. So that's all this is just saying is he's over. Anyway, so this is where you would see your campaigns. So like your one-off emails, this is where they would be, is here under the email area, you have your email templates. So you can create templates for all different types of emails. If you are selling something, you could have a very specific template for promos versus just a newsletter template, versus just a holiday greeting template. Those are always great things to have, depending on what you are selling or who your audience is. But always build out templates. You should never not have at least 2 or 3 templates. So I'm going to go into the builder. Let's do. So this is just a very simple, quick little newsletter that we had built out in the beginning when we were just kind of playing around with stuff for him. But this builder is so easy. It comes with a lot of different templates that are already pre-built. However, it also has pre-designed blocks. so you can kind of puzzle piece together what you want your thing to look like. So if I wanted just a quick header, I literally just drag it over, change whatever I want, add my logo. And yeah, I can keep changing it, but this is all just one block that was already pre-made. And I just very quickly, as you saw, changed the text, added the logo, and I can quickly grab another photo and put it in its place. And that's why I recommend the pre-made blocks, because they make it really easy. And if you have like an event happening, it's got all different types of blocks already pre-made for you, so that you can just kind of bring it over and customize it to what you want. Each block also has its own settings, so you can still change things, like this background being black. All I did was come over here to the settings icon within that block or that section. And then here's all the different settings that I have available to change. So very easy, very right in front of you, can't miss it. And then as soon as I apply, I just change the color. Great WYSIWYG, if you've ever heard of that. What you see is what you get. WYSIWYG editor, as you can see, when it comes to text, it's right up here. Very simple to just change the font, the size, whatever. But it's super easy. So you can end up building out exactly what you want very quickly. I'm not going to save that, obviously, but we'll just exit. So that's the builder, the email builder. The file manager, when you saw that I clicked on to try to get a new image, that is where this is. So you would just come in here and upload your logo, your different graphics, but that's where it's in the file manager. You can even design stuff on Canva and add it into here. So if I were to just bring this over and save, it's now going to come into my file manager. So makes it really easy. And Canva is a great, and I love that this platform connects to Canva, because it makes social media and all different types of graphics very easy to get. So that's that. You also have, they do have some stock images in here. If you want GIF holiday, you just simply search and just keep clicking show more until you find the one you want. Stock photos, same thing. All kinds of different icons. So, and this is all in the system. This is already there for you, ready to go. Trying to make it really easy for you to be able to just hit the ground and market. So all kinds of icons. Icons are huge right now. I don't have an e-commerce store set up, but in here it would have, products, things like that. But you could connect your e-commerce store to this to make it your marketing easier within the platform. So that is the email section. So you can see how much just for an email there is. Then you have your automations. You can do, let's see, let me pull up, which one is it? So we'll pull this one up. I don't think this is the big one. Oh, this is the big one. Yeah, so this is automation. What I'm doing is like this one here, I'm just telling it on a specific date. And this particular campaign was since October, and it was just running from October to December. So this one's just kind of going off of a date. But as you can see, your triggers, you've got, if they opened an email, you can have it do something different. If they clicked on a certain link within the email, you just, again, it's drag and drop, and you just double click it, and here's your settings to say, okay, if somebody clicks on, in this email, if they clicked on this link, I want them to now go or receive a different email. So you've got your triggers where you start and your actions after the fact. So if I wanted to send them a text message, I just drag my little arrow to where I want it to go, double click again, and tell the system what text message I want to send them. It's yeah, so the triggers, obviously that is what triggers that person to go down a certain thing. So you've got different options here. They also have a custom event where you can change pretty much anything. You're pretty much saying, okay, if this happens at any time, like if I add a certain tag to a contact, I want them to trigger the automation to do this. If their lead score changes from a 20 to all of a sudden a 50, and they're really engaging with me, okay, I want to create a trigger that is, well, I'm trying to think of what he's got in there. I don't want anything to go through. So custom event, and then at that time I could create myself. Oh, not add to, hold on, let me delete that one. I want create new task to remind myself to follow up with them. So once they get to that lead score that I set, I want to create a new task for my sales team, whatever, to all of a sudden get that in that pipeline manager, a new task to follow up with that person.
Now, is that lead score like a percentage of response, or just there's a lot of analytics to that?
No, so lead score is really simple. And it's pretty much how they're engaging. Let me just get out of, remove those. Yeah, I can, in fact, I'll jump over to it is under, is it settings? There we go. I can't remember where it was. Where is the lead score, Cynthia? I know it's there. Is it under pipeline? I
Yeah.
can't remember where.
Because we just went
Oh,
over that.
contacts. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah. So the lead scoring, you can set yourself. So score rules. So if somebody books an appointment, if all of a sudden they get a tag, and this is part of another automation I have set, if their tag all of a sudden becomes book appointment, they're going to instantly get 25 points. If they become an active client, they're going to instantly get 500 points. And then you can easily just turn these off and on, as well as repeat. So if somebody goes back through and books another appointment, they're going to get an additional 25 points. So you can set up these different rules however you want. Action triggered, if they a certain lead value, say a date, if you fill out a date within their contact record, you can set up a goal to, oh, this person's really interested. Whatever that means to your company, you are customizing it so that score, your team knows who to focus on and who can probably wait because they're not engaging that much, because they're not reaching that score that you're setting up here. You can also set goals just kind of to go along with that. You can have different goals, so different key performance indicators in here. If if somebody creates if somebody goes to a certain URL several times, you can add that score, but then you can also do certain actions for that goal. I can create like the automation. I can set up an automation to where, okay, if this goal is reached, I now want this person to jump into another campaign, or I want them to receive something from me, a certain email, whatever. You would set that up in an automation. And then you could select it here of the goal action. What happens once this is reached? And you've got different options. So if it's a certain duration, different pages that they've visited, PPC referral network. So if they, clicked on a Google ad so many times, a certain event triggered, if they watched a video, if they submitted a form. So there's a lot of different options that you can build out these different goals for your sales team, or your overall just performance. And it ties in, this is the part that is just awesome, is all of that still ties into the same platform, where a lot of times like your CRM has the KPIs in one area, but you're doing your marketing elsewhere and you have to make them talk. Well, this is all in one system. It's got your marketing, it's got your pipeline manager, which is for sales, which I'll show in a second. But all in one. So it talks to each other automatically. So just going back to the automation that I was in, as you saw, you know, there's different triggers, different actions. Things can kind of be as simple as this. Like this is just a simple email. So if they went to the landing page and they filled out a form, send them an email and add them to a master list. Pretty simple. But we're still keeping track of what that person is doing, so that the next time we do a campaign, we can be very specific to who we want to send it to because they went down this particular automated path. And then you've got your automated messages. So these would be the emails that you are using for within the automation itself. You can select from your email templates, from your automation, or to do an automated message, but you cannot select a email campaign. You can send them down a campaign, like to send them an email, but you can't over here under the email. These here are not an option to select from in the automation. You would create an automated message is what you would want to do there, because an email is just a one-off. It's just a one-time, whereas your automated messages are a campaign. There's going to be multiple, it's going to be used multiple times throughout automated workflow. And this is the same builder as the other email template. So I can create a new email template from here, because that is, like I said, I can grab an email template. I just can't grab a pre-made email blast. You can do a push template or an SMS. So if you wanted to send a text message, but all of these become kind of a automated message templates for you to be able to use. Then you've got your social media. And this is another just awesome to have in one place. So you pretty much just come over here. This is the calendar. Like this is what we had going on for this particular client. We just come over, compose, we add what social media accounts we want to do for him we just came in here when we first set it up and we just selected his accounts and connected them. Very easy. So you've got Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest. You can bring in Google Analytics. It's not going to go to your Google My Business because that's not really a social platform, but this is just kind of where you connect your different accounts that you want to use. So in here, you would just select which ones you want to send to, put in your post. Again, you can design right in Canva. And then put your little blurb in there, and you can either do post now, or in this drop down, you can schedule. So I can send it out at a predetermined date in the future. Or what's really cool is sometimes you'll have posts where you don't necessarily need to change the image or the messaging. It's just kind of like an ongoing reminder type of social media post. So you can actually come in here and select, okay, I'm going to send it on Wednesday the 19th. I'm also going to send it again on February 4th at a different time. And I can just keep going. So if there's like a particular post throughout the year, like every month, you can just come in here and just do it for the next 12 months.
But when you go to places like Canva, don't you need to have a subscription for Canva too?
Canva does it have a free one, Cynthia? I can't remember. Yeah, Canva has a free version. I pay for the premium. But it does have a free.
The free version is probably plenty for a lot of people.
Yep.
I started that way, and after a couple of months, I upgraded like Cameron did, and even then, it's not that expensive.
It's like $100. Yeah, it's like $100 a year.
Yeah, and it gives you so much. But yeah, the free version is plenty for a lot of people.
Right.
And it's great for people who just aren't graphic artists and they, you know, they do want to put something together real quick. I mean, Canva has a lot of different templates. And I think most of the time, like there are premium templates, but most of the time it's more of the stock images that you can use. Those are where you really get your value for your money on the premium side. But as you can see, I mean, this is pretty easy. I came in here, added whatever accounts, created my little post, and I could, like I said, either post now, schedule, or custom posting and go several years or several months. And then this is obviously, this is what it looks like if you wanted to actually drill down into what is happening on each day. Obviously, we've got the Happy New Year. But again, you can just drag and drop stuff. Like you can just change. Oh, that's because I have it connected to something else. Okay, let me go back to, let me open up this one. Nope, I want to go month. In here, like I could drag and drop, although this one's already gone. Let's do, I'll move this one. So if I see something like we have a few things here that, in fact, I need to move some of these anyways, because things should not be on the same day. But yeah, I'm just dragging it around. So I'm kind of planning out the calendar. Even though I've already created my posts, I can just drag and drop and adjust as needed. And then you can always just click on the one itself. And now I'm editing just the Facebook one. So I can change it to whatever I want if I want that one to be slightly different. And then you can also in streams here. So this is another, instead of, you know, us or the client having to go out to Facebook to see what's happening, all we do is come in here into the streams. I also want all of these. Okay, so while that populates, so in here, like this is just the news feed, and I can actually like certain things from in here. So I don't ever have to go out to Facebook, which is awesome for me because I hate Facebook. But I can just come in here and I can manage my client's social media because I'm just kind of coming in, doing some reactions, see what kind of comments. Same with Twitter. I can come in here and just like stuff. And Instagram. The only one I've noticed that you can't do anything on is Instagram, and that's just an Instagram limitation. So I can't come in here and actually like it because I'm in Instagram as Billy Red. So you can't like your own stuff, apparently. Not with the connection, third-party connection. But I mean, Facebook, you know, if you have direct messages, I can come in here. I never have to go, again, I never have to go out to Facebook and log in as him. I can do everything within this tool.
Question. In
Yep.
the stream section, like let's say for Twitter, anybody you're following, will that show up in stream or no?
Not who you're following, I don't think. It'll show up on your home, and if they're like not who you're following, but it will show up who's following you, like latest followers.
Okay.
Like I can, you know, I can change if I want to follow somebody or not within here. I can also see who's, you know, any mentions, any retweets. So
Yeah, I
there's
just
plenty.
was wondering, because you know,
Yeah.
like on Hootsuite, you can see what things are being tweeted from people you're following, and you can retweet them so that it shows up. Yeah.
So that's your
That's
home
not-
timeline, because that's going to be on your
Okay.
home. Yeah. So that's what that is. Anyways, like as you can see here, like he's already following these people. So they're going to be on my home timeline.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. That's where that is. Yeah. Twitter. I haven't been in Twitter for a long time, so I had to rethink of what you meant of where it was. But yeah, it's anybody I'm following as my home versus my user timeline, which is me posting outward.
Gotcha.
So then you've got your analytics. So in here, you can just, you know, come in. We haven't obviously, oh, this is for Twitter. There's not a lot of action for Twitter, but you can just switch. You just, if you want to see the analytics for Facebook, you just click over here and you can see your little demographics, how many impressions you've had over this time frame here. So over the month, which is pretty pretty good considering we just opened his page like a few months ago. But yeah, I mean, you can kind of even see your post highlights, how many people are engaging on certain ones, which clearly nobody's engaging with his.
So
Yeah,
you're
we got-
saying you can see the demographics. Now,
Mhm.
are you going out and finding out more about this person as to, how old they are and male, female, or, ethnicity, or you're only, by what they tell you?
I know by what it's telling me here, how many, and that's based on, in Facebook, obviously you fill out your profile and I say, I'm a female versus a male, that's the information it's coming in. So it knows from your username what you are categorizing yourself as, where you're located. And you can use this information to now target and retarget to those people. So it is very helpful and handy to have. I mean, this is awesome right here that all of his stuff is in the United States. So we don't have to really worry about any type of language barriers or anything if we were international, and making sure that, we put, I don't know, a French post every now and then. But since everybody's United States,
Right.
because I hate translation. And then in here, although we don't have it set up, but you can also do like a link tracker. So instead of like a bit.ly or something, you can have social clicks itself within the system. So more tracking, which is great. So that was the social. Back into the contacts, you've got your all contacts is obviously when you click on it, that's by default. It shows you that, which I love because on MailChimp, in fact, I have, if you can see, I was working on a client's MailChimp, moving her over to this system, and I hate that it only shows me what it thinks I want to see. So anyways, all contacts is the default. In here, I've got my different lists. The way we have it set up, and this is like a good kind of best practice, is always have like a master list, which is all your contacts that are haven't unsubscribed yet. So you've got your suppression list, which are unsubscribes, and your master list, which is your bucket. From there, you can create different lists. Like if somebody comes in on his booking link, we have a bookings list. And then we have an automation set up to where, okay, that person is now being tagged, and we're still going to move them into this master list so that when we go to do any type of automation or email blast, I can select that master list knowing that's where everybody is at, and then start excluding who I don't want it to send to, instead of having to worry about, oh, okay, I need this list, I need this list, I need this list. Just bring them all into a bucket and then exclude. And then we already kind of went through the lead scoring and the goals, but from lists, you can also drill down a step further and have audiences, which is the perfect term for it, because that's exactly what it is now your target audience. Bookings. I can select that master list from an email blast and say, I want, my audience of only the bookings people, and then exclude unsubscribe. So I kind of can continue to drill down using the master list or a particular list if I already have it separated, and then drill down one step further to audience types. So kind of going back to the example, how do I know if it's a male, female, where they're located? I can do an audience specific to females in New York because I now have that data from my social media analytics. If I were to have their email, obviously they have to somehow give that to me, but I could create an audience very specific based on those reports.
Cameron, if I uploaded a list of people in a certain age bracket, would that go into audiences? Because it would be part of my master list, but I would want to carve out that certain group.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as you have within the CSV that you import, you would want some column in there that stated, they're a part of this, so that when you go to create your audience, it auto grabs those people knowing, okay, I'm still going to go into the master list, but I'm also going to go into this particular audience because of this field or this value.
Okay, so I wouldn't like upload a separate CSV list for all those people that are in that age bracket?
You can do that, but and then you can also put them in. I would still do the put them in a master list,
Okay,
and then I personally would separate them into an audience.
okay,
So if you're just doing, like, if you're just going to import that list that day, well, you know, everybody that you imported that day is going to be part of that audience. So you would just set that in here to match certain rules of, okay, they
Oh,
were
gotcha.
imported on this day. However, I always like to utilize the actual contact fields, because if you were to import again, or somebody were to come in, you know, a month down the road, they wouldn't be in this audience because you're telling it, you know, I only want people I imported on this day, even though they fit that criteria.
Right. So if I wanted to appeal, sorry, I'm asking all these questions, but
No, no
if I
worries.
wanted to appeal to somebody that's like 65 and older, to let them know we can do Medicare supplements for them, can I put a column with the birth dates in there?
Yeah,
Because
you can.
my system will do that, so it'll put their date of birth, and then that audience would be for anybody over or this birthday
Mhm.
date. So that way to keep pulling people in as they age to age 65.
Yeah, you would just change your criteria to say anytime, you know, like each year, you would just change it and say, okay, if it's over, you know, 1960, ignore these people, you know, if it's 1960 or above, whatever, versus below 1960. And I'm not a math genius, so I'm sure that's totally
Yeah.
wrong, but
No, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, that would be great. Okay.
you would just change it, and then that way your audience just continues to filter through people as you import them and add them, and as they fill out forms. But yeah, you can create a whole bunch of custom fields. In fact, I'll come in here. We've got, I mean, you have your general contact fields. If if you have this information, it'll pre-populate when you go to import. But there's also, let's see, other information, and this is where we have put some of the custom stuff in contact field, between contact fields, and nope, ignore that. It's just in the contact area. But like this, like date of birth it's not a normal field in the system. We added this. Same with like the comment area, the gender, like things like that, we kind of added to. So you can create unlimited amount of custom fields so that you can filter and automate all of your marketing off of those. Another cool feature in here, I mean, I think this is one of the cleanest contact records or layouts that I've seen, but you can see the activities of the person. You know, if me adding them to certain triggers, you know, add them to the master list because they performed some action. We sent them a campaign, the email for this, and we can see in here how many times they opened it. I mean, this person's I already know who this person is as far as a client, because, well, one, we automated the tag section, but because my client told us to. But anyway, so in here, you can also, you've got a whole bunch of different options. So if I wanted to send just one person, like I was on the phone with them and I was like, yeah, great. You know, I'll get that right out to you. I can, if I have the automation set up, from their contact record, I can easily just add them to that automation, knowing that now they're going down that path. I can call them from the system if you have Twilio set up. I can create a new task. I can export if I want. I mean, you've got different options, but then I can also send an email directly to them from the system. I can even schedule it out. So makes it very clean, simple CRM with whatever contact information you want. You can, you know, add your own notes internally. Your team would see any additional notes. So that is contacts. Now we've got our landing pages, very similar to the email builder. I'll come in here. It's all drag and drop, pre-designed areas. I just pop it in, change what I want. I've got my settings. Let's see, I can go to another landing page if I want, redirect them, or just give them a thank you message. But plenty of options. Let me remove this just because this one is live. So yeah, I mean, they make it really, really simple to put together a landing page. Just it's very similar to the email builder. And then you can even change up here to see what it looks like on tablet versus mobile. And you can kind of change things around as you're going through the different sizes to make sure everything looks pretty good and in all three sizes. Exit this. So that's landing page builder. You also have site pop-ups. And again, all of this is within the system. The only difference in the packages is like the amount of users you can have and the email sends, but the landing pages, the social, the automation, all of that is part of the all-in-one. So site pop-ups, we've got we had one going for webinar registration, but what's really cool about these site pop-ups is you can change stuff. So I wanted the pop-up to stop. I only want it to show on his website between the 16th of November and the 8th. So one day before the actual webinar. And then it just stopped. So it's really cool if you have certain sales going on, you just come in, create a pop-up. Okay, I only want it to show for 2 weeks during the sale, and then just turn it off. It shuts itself off on that date. You can take, you can do different polling pop-ups, an easy subscription form, but there's a lot of different types of pop-ups that you can have. If somebody is about to click out of your thing, you can have it pop up on exit, pop up immediately on entry, if certain goals are triggered. I have it if people scroll to the middle of the page, but then you can also do like on exit, how many, let's see, on particular pages, like if I don't want it to show up on every page, I can have a pop-up specific to a certain page. So again, here's some more filters for this pop-up. I mean, it's this very extensive pop-up builder. I can change it if I only want it to show to that particular person every so many hours, because I don't know about you, there's websites I've gone to where every page I pop up, doesn't matter how many times I close it, it's like it's not registering my session. And so every page I go to, even if it's 5 minutes later, if I close the tab and go back to it, I still get that pop-up. It should recognize my IP address and not show it to me again. That is the proper way to do a pop-up. So this is pretty handy to have all of those options so that you're doing it the right way. Then we have the pipeline manager. So in here, you can customize very Kanban board-ish, where you can kind of just drag things around as people move through stuff. You can also automate this so that if you have a tag, you can move them to a different area in the pipeline. You have your different views here. So if you wanted to see more of an activity view versus the board, if you wanted to just see the list, or back to your Kanban. And then you can have, manage your task boards so you can see what's going on or create another task board. So you can create a board for each one of your sales team members, or you could do, again, kind of similar to the reason for the dashboard, a marketing task board and a sales task board, an accounting task, or whatever you want. But kind of like your task management area for sales. You can also customize the The headers up here to an extent. Completed is one that you cannot, and the in queue. Those two are by default there. Everything else, you can create your own columns and move them along. As you can see, my client, he loves this thing. Like, he loved it as soon as he found out where to find it. But yeah, so you've got your sales and all your marketing all in one. So that is the system. And you can have, there's also calendars. So you can have a booking. So this is his booking calendar. He'll just send this link to people so you can book directly within the system. That's another one that a lot of marketing platforms do not have. You have to go pay for Calendly or whatever. This is part of the system. You can create your own tags, as many as you want. You've got the API key if you do want to connect. That's for integration with other systems. Short codes. So this is like on that landing page, although I still just add it out of habit each time. But if I were to just create in my email or landing page or something, add a Facebook link, it would automatically populate with what this is. So it's just a quick short code, knowing what the value is.
Cameron,
Yep.
would this work with like a golf academy where we're looking to get like 2,000 people to go through an academy in a year, doing about 5 hours, and they would be different times in different groups and stuff like that, and being able to coordinate it with 950 other golf academies that are doing the same thing? I mean, is this the kind of system that I would use? I mean, maybe not be big enough for that, but would this be big enough to get started?
This grows with you. I mean, you can keep building on. In fact, all of these add-ons here, I mean, if you're, I guess if you could explain a little bit more, so you're trying to get some outreach to
I want
get
to have
people to sign up.
Yeah, I want people to, I want to have outreach to a local area, because it's not, they will have to physically come to my location.
Right.
And so I would need to reach local people that would come here, and I'd have a contact with most of them through meeting them in the schools and then getting them to come. And then you could build, that would be some way to build up and keep those people in the system.
Yes. Yeah. So
this will work for that?
Yeah. So what you would do is create like an email, a campaign, like not a blast, but an automation to where it's just kind of on every 2 days, every 3 days, whatever, sending them something, a drip campaign, nurture campaign, that is just sending them something every few days. And then you can direct them to a landing page that gives them more information about the academy. They can fill out a form if they're interested, or they can book time with you to meet with you, whatever you want that to be. But this is exactly what that would be. Same with the social media, is getting that social media out there and driving them back to the landing page to sign up for more information.
So the landing page, you mean on our website, so that you get more people looking at your website also? Is that
so? No, a landing page is very specific. A landing page is much different than a website. Your website is more general, whereas
Right.
a landing page is very specific to one goal, which would be the academy. We want you to sign up for the academy, so you would want to create a landing page very specific to the academy, whatever you want that goal to be. That's where you want to drive traffic to, not your main website, because that gives too many options for people to kind of get lost on a
Okay.
main website. A landing page is very specific to your campaign goal.
Okay.
But yeah, this system has those landing pages in here. And then you can have, I mean, you can, as you can see, there's a lot of different add-ons. So it kind of grows with you. If you need to add more people, if you need to add a whole bunch more email credits, although I would say just contact me, because you're going to get a much better price than the generic add-on price here. Because I can just upgrade you to the next level. The way I have the packages set up is that you're going up by email sends, and you kind of get a little bit of everything else with it instead of having to do it, you know, buy this for 50 versus another 20, whatever. The next package that we have probably has all of that in it anyways for less. But yeah, you have a lot of options. I just wanted to show this here that you have a lot of options if you already have like Salesforce or HubSpot or something. You can install the connection so that data flows back and forth. But it also connects to Zapier, which is one of the most popular data migration tools, to where you can connect anything that you can imagine. Excuse me. But you can connect it to your WordPress website, so you can put your forms right on the front of your website so that the people are just instantly come back into the system where you want them. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways that you can still use your other tools. Like maybe, you know, you purchase your 6 months into a year-long purchase of HubSpot, and you want to, you know, you're going to cancel HubSpot eventually. So connect HubSpot, slowly migrate that data over. Just, yeah, there's a lot of things that you can do. So yeah, that's the tool. You've got user permissions and groups so that you can add different people to different sections. I know, yeah, I have all of ours just because we're the agency account, but billing, create groups. So yeah, any questions?
So Cameron, got a couple.
Yep.
So when you say that you're tracking to see the activity, are you tracking, since you've got their IP address and everything else, are you tracking basically everything that they do, or only what you've got, you know, in here? Like, are you tracking the activity on their Facebook?
Yeah, you can track that, and that's why it's important to get that Google Analytics in here and your connections with your Facebook. You can't track everything, but you can let the tools like Facebook itself. If you've ever gone to a website and then gone to Facebook, you all of a sudden see an ad for something you were just looking at. That's retargeting.
Right.
So you're letting Facebook do that for you based on some of the criteria that you have set. Not in this tool, that's a Facebook manager thing, but you can use this data to retarget to those folks in Facebook Manager and say, because you have that data now, you know, okay, you know, this is mostly, what was it? I think it was for his, it was mostly males. So I can go into, if I'm going to do an ad or a Google ad or Facebook ad, doesn't matter. I now know, okay, this particular content is more likely to be looked at by men. So that's what I want Google to focus on, is show this mainly to men based on their interactions within the bots using cookies, things like that.
So is it because of you that I keep getting about 4 or 5 things from Tony Robbins every day?
Definitely not from me, no, because I'm not a Tony Robbins fan, but yeah, when you're on, it doesn't matter what website you're on, you're being tracked. I mean, that's just the way the world we live in is you're being watched by Google, by Microsoft, whatever. And they're using that information to drive that data back to these types of platforms and people like me who say, oh, this one really stuck out to men between ages, 40 and 55. I'm going to go do an ad for that particular demographic, and I'm going to get a lot more ROI because that is who is being drawn to that particular topic.
Right. So
I have a question with, we're tracking with Google ads to get $10,000 a month of Google ads because we're a nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
And how would I use that with this system?
Yeah, so you would definitely want to connect your Google Analytics to here. Let's see where in here you would connect your Google Analytics, because your Google ads should be set up to your Google Analytics. Okay. That's first and foremost, but you can bring in all of that data into this platform and really take a look and be like, okay, we're tracking this, we're doing good in New York or mostly on mobile. All of that data is tracked through Google Ads into your analytics, and then you can display it here so that you can kind of have that all-in-one view of what's happening on your social versus your Google stuff.
Okay, thank you.
So the other thing that I find that's interesting is, and I'll just use Tony Robbins, even though, I clicked on his stuff and whatever. So, so I click on him and, I'm looking at some of this stuff, and then after a while, because he's trying to sell you on one of his webinars and whatever, so I stopped doing it. I still get some of their stuff, and then all of a sudden I'll get someone else that it says they have a different business and they're promoting something almost exactly like it. And
Yeah.
so are they sharing information, or they just are tracking the same kind of stuff? So tell me.
Yeah, they could be tracking anything that Tony Robbins people are doing. Like if you, when we go to do ads, I can look up people's interests. I can say, I want to focus on people who have interests in Harley Davidson motorcycles in general. Like I can list out their hobbies, their interests. And if you have that somewhere in your Facebook profile, or you keep going to motorcycle groups, you're going to show up all of a sudden in my list of people that are going to be shown my stuff. So, coaches, inspiration, things like that. All of your behavior on different websites, on social, whatever, is being tracked, because those are the things that you keep going to. So when they do a retargeting campaign, they're saying, I want to show my stuff to anybody who keeps going to, their interest of coaching or whatever it is. They're tracking that based on your behavior of what you are looking at on when you're on the web.
Interesting. Yeah, nothing's hidden anymore, or hasn't been for a long time.
Yep, it is definitely, far from hidden.
Yeah. Well, that explains why you request information on anything, you not only get it from them, but you get it from several other companies.
Yep. Yeah.
Hmm.
And this is, and I can send this out. But this is kind of goes over some of the features of it, the importance of why, visual marketing automation is important. And then just a picture of what that means, the landing page builder, just a quick little overview of the different features it has. And then it does also have our different pricing options. So like I said, everything is based on the email sends. You have unlimited contacts. So I can have 1 million contacts in the system, but if I'm only sending to 5,000, then your 10,000 a month is fine. It doesn't matter how many contacts you have listed or in the system, it's how many you're sending to. So as you can see, it just kind of goes up. It kind of works its way up based on how many you need. Like this is enterprise level and still not even close to a HubSpot.
Wow.
So yeah, and I can, but take Cynthia's testimonial for it. It's nice to get time back, and time is money, especially as an entrepreneur. Time is money. So if you're logging into Facebook to do this, and you're logging into, LinkedIn to do that, you're wasting a whole bunch of time over the course of a week when you can just simply come to this platform. Or you don't have to log into MailChimp and then your Calendly. Everything's in one.
So you can set this up for somebody, or they can, learn to do it themselves.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, we're here to help if they need it, but the platform's theirs. It's just as if you were, purchasing a HubSpot. It's yours. It's your account as long as you're paying for it. It doesn't matter if you want our help or not. It's still your platform to use however you want. But it's nice to know that you have a full service marketing team just a phone call away if you do need an extra set of hands. So it's just kind of a win-win, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, can you send me this again? I want to send it out to my board of directors so that
Okay.
I can have them look it over and then we can get back with you.
And what I'll do, I am recording this. So I will do what I did before. I'll load it into YouTube. And so it'll be there, and then put the link in and you can just go to it at any time.
Yeah, and there's and on our website under the what's it called, Shop Martech Tools, that you can see the different prices and what's in each one too. So it's not just in this overview here, but it's also now live, very happy to say, on our website as well.
Great. Okay, I see some people are leaving. Before everyone else does, I want to wish everybody a very happy new year and prosperous one. Stay safe out there. Don't drink too much, or if you do, stay home. And, stay dry also. We had some great weather here. We need more of it. It looks like we're getting more. So thank you, thank you, thank you. This is very informative. It's extremely robust system. I guess to begin with, your head starts spinning and you start chewing off one thing at a time.
And even Cynthia even put in her little message that she had to go. But I mean, I was talking to her on the phone the other day, and she's like, she's already saved so much time. And it's a lot to get it set up and to really figure out your automation. But once you have it planned out properly, it really is a set it and forget it. When you've got those email campaigns just kind of flowing, the automation from your business rules set up, it's a lot of planning, but once they're set up, it's a lot of more time to do more stuff because you're not having to worry about it again.
Yeah, fantastic. Alrighty, so unless somebody's got something else, I guess we'll see you in a week after the new year. So have a great one. If you have any topics for next meeting,
Happy
let me
New
know.
Year.
Here.
Happy New Year. See you next
Next
year.
year.
Happy New Year.
you
Thank
next
you,
year.
Cameron.
Happy New Year.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.